What up, what up, what up? Prime Mega New Trees representative to the fullest. Trees up. What's good with y'all? Checking in. So the other day, scrolling down my timeline, and there's this interview with Don Cannon and Teddy Riley. And I believe it's yet to air. I think it's still just a regular clip out there on Teddy Riley's page talking about frequency. And I've spoken about frequency previously. And he asked him, what is the secret to making a hit song? Teddy Riley said, it really comes down to frequency. There's different pitches, different things are tuned. And he said there's like certain songs like, I guess I Like, which was way back in the, was that late 90s or 80s? And it's tuned to something that makes you feel good. He said, that's in that frequency. And he said he kind of stays in that frequency. And so it got me to thinking also, I read the comments. And so one of the people in the comments was like, how do we know that frequency is real? Like, there is no secret to making a hit song. It's just hard work, and you really gotta want to get there. So, of course, a lot of people chimed in. So, really, their thing was to debunk frequency itself. Now, I'm not one to get into the theory and the measurements and the mathematics of everything. All I know is that when I was young, a youngin', 8, 9 years old, and I found my way around on the keyboard. And even up to the point where in teenage years I was making beats, I stayed in the same pitch. And I understand exactly what he was referring to, because I kind of stuck to what made me feel good as I was making the beat, you know what I'm saying? Or depending on the mood that I wanted to be in. And there are different frequencies for that. And I always knew that, just didn't have an ability to articulate it into words back then. So I fully understand, I overstand the concept of frequency. Even now, I listen to the frequency music. at night I sleep to something, I think it's around 530 hertz as it's measured in. All that stuff is available on streaming. I do stuff that I read my books to, which is lower, like 40 hertz. Wake up to 700 some hertz, things like that. So, I don't get really into the measurement, but I have read before, a bit about frequency, and that, I think the universal tuning is 432 hertz, which means like everything is vibrating, everything, planets, stars, moons, everything. And they've measured it to be tuned to 432. Now, back to music. Radio, I also read at some point was there. Now everything is 440 back since 1953, I guess. So now everything's like they said lower, but well, yeah, it would be lower, depending on which way you're looking at it. The different, if you hear now, like there's different frequencies for stuff that gives you energy, things that for the nightlife, for the bar scene, strip clubs, there's bass lines, 808s that register in the lower register to cater to the low. The bass, they say, represents the silhouette. If you're looking at the silhouette of a woman, the bass represents the hips, the lower register, so things like that. Everything, if you're following frequency, has a tune and a way to articulate it and express it through sound. There's even cymatics, which is how they can move objects with sound, and then actually make sound solidified. You can actually, there's the thing where they put sand on a paper and they tune it and they vibrate it and it makes different shapes. Again, back to the person's comments about frequency. How do we know that's real? It's faith. You can't see it. I mean, technically, I mean, there's things that can happen if you believe that much. You know, if you're looking for it, the proof is in front of you. God, we don't have to see him to know that he exists, and so on and so on. Frequency to me is a part of that. And it is, to me, it's just as organic. You know, everything, we're all in tune. That's why sometimes, I don't know if when you're talking to somebody, you have a conversation. This happens to me a lot. It took me a while to figure this out. And maybe it's just on my end. When you're having a conversation, you speak to somebody, and I feel like I'm talking to them, but the words ain't getting through. You know, it's like you're really trying to have an in-depth conversation. You're trying not to go over their head, and you're not trying to be like just misrepresenting what you're trying to say at the same time. And sometimes I feel like, dang, I don't even think that what I said got through. Or like, man, I feel like an idiot just now, like from some of the things that I said, you know. And I used to wonder, like, you know, but then it hit me one day. I was like, you know what? Some of these various people that I have conversations with, we're not tuned to the same frequency, which is not a bad thing. It's just sometimes I'm able to adjust it real time. It sounds crazy. I know it does. But sometimes I'm able to catch it while I'm talking to somebody and tune up or down accordingly, you know. But again, this is something that I'm actually just coming into understanding within the past maybe 8 to 10 years, maybe. But you know, frequency is a thing. You definitely want to be in tune with your surroundings, and you can literally find out immediately when things, if you're tuned in, you can literally find out where some things that don't belong in your life and some things that do, or what you need to adjust or calibrate to make sure these things sort of fit to where you're going in life, you know. But again, frequency, as far as the equation, the mathematics, the numerical value, I don't need to know much about the exact tuning to know that it exists. Again, I use the tools, the frequency music, the meditation music, and it works. It's like, you know, it's just like, I'll give you another example. So if you feel like the vibes ain't right, like at work or your drive on the way there, or you quite didn't get much sleep the prior night, on my way to work, I put it on. I put different frequency music. Like I said, you type it in, just type in 700 HZ, and you're streaming, whatever you use to stream, or even YouTube. They have it all of that stuff, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all are aware of that, but it absolutely helps. It clears, for me, I believe in it that much that I can see it real time clearing the path for me and up-tuning my morning as I need, you know what I'm saying? And I do it every morning, you know, or even in the afternoon when I need it. I can see and feel real time me tuning my day. You can literally tune your day. And like I said, it's something that you know, it's in the same guidelines of faith for some people. For me, it's a feeling. I'm a musician, I'm an artist, so I'm all about real feel, and how that really works. And it's interesting to me how people look to quickly disprove everything. I don't know if that's because the time that we're currently in, which I'm not mad. I'm really not. Like, we are in some interesting times, I'm going to say the least. So I'm not mad at not running with the first thing you hear, which is really good. And really, your judgment and your perception is up. However, I feel like people make it their mission to really push something without, like, just because you didn't experience it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Here's another thing to think about. Maybe it's not for you. If you didn't perceive it, and you can't, or maybe it's not for you in this current stage of life that you're in, you know, and that's not a bad thing either, because God will get to you how he needs to get to you, you know, whether it be frequency, sound, or something you need to see, he'll get to you, you know. And that goes for people with and without faith. He gonna get to you. You will see what you need to see. Now, There are some people that just live in denial, right? They live in the land of denial. They keep seeing signs. They keep ignoring the signs. Literally, signs knocking them all upside the head. And just refuse, right? You just perpetually, habitually refusing to see the light and the truth. But everybody has their day. Everybody, and here's the thing, they may not express it to you, whoever they may be, but to themselves, they know the truth. They know the truth. They know the presence of God, and they have a relationship with him. And some people, for some reason, don't want to admit to that. So, again, to me, that's relatable to people that kind of try to disprove things that don't exist, but haven't encountered them yet. To me, frequency and sound to me is a divine thing. It's divinity. It's something God provided for us to be all in one accord or several different accords, things that we could manipulate in this journey of life. And so I encourage everybody to do more research on frequency itself. Like I said, everything is vibrating. We're all energy. We're all vibration. We're all light. So just wanted to check in with y'all. That really had my wheels turning. You know what I'm saying? So figure I had to speak about it because I did speak about it before. But yeah, let me know. Comment below. Let me know how y'all feel. It's your boy Prime Mega. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's have a blessed week. Have a blessed day. Let's get it, y'all. Trees up.